Welcome. Welcome to VSDevelopers.io. Today's topic is void data type. This is one of the less heard topics, and in C++ world, it is used very widely in a way that if you want to store any data type's address, you would use void data type. But void data type as such cannot be declared. Like the way you declare int I or double D, you cannot declare void and a variable name. It contains nothing, so right? So it cannot hold anything. And when it comes to void pointer, it's totally different. So void pointer doesn't mean that it can't hold any address. Void pointer, on contrary, means that you can hold any type of data type's address. So let's say, what do I mean by that? You have an integer, right? So integer I, and you have an equivalent integer pointer. So integer pointer iptr, and wherein you can store address of I. Likewise, you go ahead and declare for double character. Right? Let's work for character. Now character C, you want to store one character in it, and then you go ahead and declare a character pointer. This is well known and common usage how you do with data types and their pointers. Now, when it comes to void, so you cannot declare a variable with void. So if you say void v is equal to what, right? So you cannot. This is not valid. This is valid though. So you can declare a void pointer, say vptr. This is valid. So what do you want to store in this? So you can store either integer, or you can also store as a character. And this is not limited to integer and character. It is, you can go ahead and use it for all the basic data types and derived data types. So that powerful it is. You can, so therefore it is called as a generic pointer. So void pointer is a generic pointer. So you can store any type of data's address. And then how do you retrieve it? So when you declare an integer pointer, so when you have declared this, and you will print cout star iptr. This will give you the value at I, that is 10. So why do we have to declare the data type as integer? So you have declared the data type as integer, but why should you declare the pointer as integer? With that data type, it knows that it has to go and fetch those many number of bytes. So for integer, it's 4, for character, it is 1. So with the data type of the pointer, the pointer knows that it has to go and fetch those many number of bytes. Now, what happens when you declare a void pointer? So it's unknown, right? So therefore, the typecasting is necessary. At runtime, the runtime knows that you have to go and fetch those many number of bytes. So when you store it, you just don't store the address here, but when you are printing it, right, you would typecast it. Okay, I'm printing a void pointer value at void pointer, which is integer in this case. If you have stored character, so you would go ahead and say char, you typecast it to character and print the character at void pointer. This is how you use the void pointers. And this is not limited to basic data types. So even if you have a structure, so if you have a structure or a class with some variables in it, you can still go ahead and declare void vptr star vptr is equal to ampersand of name. So name is a derived data type here. So that generic is the void pointer. So void pointer can store any type of data address. Therefore, it is called a generic pointer. And this is about the data types. And we can go on and explain about more complicated examples. Right? You can also use it for double pointers. You can also use it inside the structure. So, and the typecasting, all those examples follows. Now, how do we use it for functions? As you know, for functions, you use it as a written type. That is, everyone is aware. So void function name is means that you are not going to return anything. Now, void pointer as a written type means something, right? So just like this, you have declared a void pointer function. So here, this particular void star refers to this function is going to return a pointer of any data type. So while you are calling, right, while you are calling, you will typecast it and store it depending on the data type that you are returning. So for example, now in this, you have written a function in which you are returning, say, integer a, and you return ampersand of a. If there is an overloaded function of void star fun, you might return float there. You might return a character there. And while you are calling, how do you call it? So you can now call it. So you are referring to the address. So int iptr is equals to fun. So this gives you integer. Now, since it's a void pointer, you would use the typecasting. So this is how function can return a pointer of any data type, and you would refer to it using the same way that you use with the basic data types. Hope that gave you a basic introduction about a void pointer. How do we use it in a basic and derived data types, and how do you use it as a function return type? You can also use it as a function parameter. So now you know void means, yeah, you cannot store anything. But void pointer means you can store any type of data, that is generic data pointer. Thanks for watching.